In December of 2012, Quinnipiac University announced that many of its athletic programs would be changing conferences from the Northeast Conference to the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. From then on, many speculated on how the teams would perform in the new conference. Before the season started, the men's basketball team was picked to finish 7th in their first season in the MAC.
You know, we understood it. We didn't like it, and it fired us up, and it's been a sort of a source of inspiration for us all year.
No, we really didn't prove anything to nobody, so I think they had every right to pick us 7th, and but we had a chip on our shoulder from that point on. We knew we weren't the 7th best team in this conference.
People were doubting us, and that's fine. Being an underdog role, it's easier. We came strong, we surprised a lot of people, and we're having a good season. So, I mean, it's all working out for the better.
It certainly is all working out for the better. With 2 games left in the regular season, the Bobcats find themselves in 2nd place. One of the biggest reasons for their success is the play of their big men, senior Ike Azatam and junior Usman Drame.
Ike Azatam is a senior who's obviously established himself as one of the best inside players in the Northeast, and Usman Drame is a junior who also, they complement each other very well.
I mean, when you have Ike and Us on the team, on your team, you're gonna have to give them the ball, and it benefits from us from the guard standpoint. When we throw the ball inside, so many teams have to double. When they kick it out, it gives us open shots.
Another factor in the team's strong play has been their home court. The Bobcats are 10-2 at home this season, with their only home loss in conference play coming against Canisius back in January. Coach Tom Moore says this dominance on Leonard Court stems from the team's pride.
When your top 4 guys are upperclassmen, and Shaquille Shannon's an upperclassman, and Evan Conti's now an upperclassman, they tend to take more pride and understand that you're sort of protecting home turf when you play at home.
If the Bobcats win the MAC championship, they would also earn an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament, an achievement that would mean a lot to this team.
Going out on top period is good, but winning it your first year in the new league that's special.
The first team, first Quinnipiac basketball team to go to the tournament, so why not?
As the MAC tournament in Springfield, Massachusetts approaches, one thing to be certain of, this Bobcats team will be ready.
Oh, we're ready. We're ready.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Huh?
What do you think's
we're taking it. We're definitely taking it. That if anything less, it's a disappointing season. So we're ready.
From the TD Bank Sports Center, I'm Jordan Siegler, Q30 Sports. With the men's ice hockey team about to embark on a big weekend, the team received a blow. Head coach Rand Pecknold announced on Tuesday that freshman forward Peter Quenneville had quit the team and withdrawn from the university. Quenneville had 4 assists in 5 games while playing on the first line with the Jones brothers, before an injury kept him out for the last 4 games. Coach Pecknold had this to say on Quenneville, quote, "We wish Peter all the best as he moves on. Peter wants to focus only on hockey, and here at Quinnipiac University, our players are committed to excellence in both hockey and academics. We were surprised by his decision to leave," end quote. The circumstances of his departure is unknown. However, it is known that Quenneville will now play for the Brandon Wheat Kings with his brother John Quenneville. Last year, the men's ice hockey team won 30 games. However, none of those wins came against Brown. The Bobcats took on the Bears twice throughout the regular season, with both games ending in ties. The Bears also ended Quinnipiac's run at the ECAC title last season in the semifinals with a 4-0 win. Brown is the only ECAC team the Bobcats did not beat last season, but that was last year. Now it's a new season. The men's ice hockey team getting ready to play Brown up at the High Point Solutions Arena on Friday night. Bobcats trying to extend a winning streak. And here you see Brown goalie Marco DeFilippo. He's looking to end that win streak. Now we're going to jump to the first period, roughly 8 minutes left in the period. Jordan Samuels-Thomas, he's going to get tossed from the faceoff. He's got some words for the referee, but he's replaced by Bryce Van Braben. Van Braben's going to win the faceoff, and the puck goes to Corey Hibbler, and Hibbler scores on a quick shot. The captain puts the Bobcats up 1-0. Seconds ticking away in the first period, and it's going to be Sam Annis getting the puck in the corner. He sends it over to Connor Clifton. Clifton steps up, he shoots, he scores, and the Bobcats go up 2-0. Now, before we go to the third period, let's see what Michael Gartic had to say about Brown's late game approach.
I read something about them scoring a majority of their goals in the third period, so I knew that they were going to come out hard. And I mean, I go into every period with the same mindset, but knowing that they have scored more goals in the third, it obviously, makes my senses a little more sharp.
Now let's go to the third period, and Gartic's going to face a few shots here from Brown. And here's comes one shot here. He makes one save, and here comes the second, and he makes another save. The puck's going to be loose in the zone, and Preisbeck is not going to be able to get it for Brown, and the Bobcats survive the threat. The score remains 2-0. Now with the game winding down, Matt Pekka passes it up to Kellen Jones, and Jones is going to score the empty netter from the blue line. That puts the Bobcats up 3-0, and they would go on to win by that score. Coming up on Sports Pause, it's postseason time for winter sports. We'll show you what happened and give you insight to what it all means. All of that coming up tonight on Sports Pause. The men's basketball team finished their regular season on a low note, losing their last 2 games as well as an injury to one of their top players. But regardless, the team had a stellar first season in the MAC, a season nobody thought they would have. After being selected 7th in the preseason rankings, the Bobcats ended up finishing in 3rd place. The team traveled to Springfield, Massachusetts for the MAC tournament, and with a first-round bye, all that stood in the team's path to a MAC title were 3 games. First up, the Niagara Purple Eagles. Bobcats taking on Niagara in the quarterfinals at the Mass Mutual Center. We're going to start here in the first half. Zaid Hurst is going to pass it to Ike Azatam in the low post. Azatam spins. He's going to lose the ball, but passes it back out to Hurst for 3, and the Bobcats get on the board first. 3-0 Quinnipiac. Later on in the first half, it's Ramon Snowden. He's going to pass out to Marvin Jordan for 3, and Niagara out to an 8-5 lead. Later in the half, Hurst down to Azatam on the low block. Azatam posting up Marcus Ware. Gets around Ware to the hoop, and the layup is good, and the score is now 14-13 Niagara. Next possession, Snowden's going to drive to the hoop here, and he's going to kick it out to Wesley Myers, who's going to drive to the hoop, and the acrobatic layup is good. And now the last 2 minutes of the half, Shaq Shannon brings the ball up, pulls up from 3, and he knocks it down. Quinnipiac up 38-36 at halftime. Now to the second half, a few minutes in, Antoine Mason gets the ball, he drives, pulls up for the jumper, and a lucky bounce, and it goes in. Quinnipiac up 4. Less than a minute later, Bobcats possession, Shaq Shannon is going to pass to Evan Conti for 3. Bobcats still up by 4 points. Later on, Niagara in transition, Mason finds Wesley Myers, who finds Joe Thomas for the slam dunk, and Niagara cuts Quinnipiac's lead down to 2. For the next possession, Evan Conti drives, he kicks it out to Shaq Shannon for 3 from the corner. Shannon knocks it down. He had a career-high 20 points in the game. Quinnipiac goes on to win 89-80. Here's Coach. Last season, the women's basketball team dominated the NEC on their way to an undefeated conference record and an NEC championship. While they may not have had the same dominant season, they were still good enough for a 4th-place finish in the new conference. The Bobcats went to Springfield in search for their 2nd straight NCAA tournament berth. They started off the tournament with a 72-61 quarterfinal victory against the Canisius Golden Griffins. Leading the way off the bench was senior Cameron Warner with 17 points. Senior Brittany McQueen was also a major factor, recording a double-double with 13 points and 12 rebounds. First talk about this past year. You started out on the 3rd line, and then Peter Quenville got hurt, and you ended up being moved up to the 1st line. How did you adjust to a different role?
I tried to play my game that I usually play, and I was lucky to play with the twins and Connor and Kellen, and obviously they're such great players, and I think the 3 of us right away, we just clicked, and we had a great year together, and I think within the first 3 or 4 games combined, we had 20-some points, so it was just right away, and we had a lot of fun playing together. I think that was the best part. So
you mentioned the Jones brothers. How did they kind of help your success this past season?
Well, obviously they're such great competitors, and obviously they're great players, but the 3 of us were very competitive with each other, and we were really accountable, and if I made a bad play, I know I would get it from them, and they would be upset, or if they didn't make a play, then they would give it to each other, or we were all really accountable, and I think that's what really drove us as a line.
Do you think you would have had the same success without them?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I guess we'll see next year, but I had a lot of fun playing with them, and we'll see how next year goes.
So, going back to moving up to the 1st line, were you nervous at all? Did you feel any added pressure moving up to playing with them?
No, not at all. I mean, they didn't come up to me and say, "Oh, you need to deliver," or blah blah blah. I think it was just time for a change, and the lines necessarily weren't clicking that well, and I think they were getting a little frustrated, and we were getting a little frustrated. I mean, we were playing well as a team, but I guess that line just clicked, and we just went off from there.
Now, coming in here and starting here as a freshman, did you expect to have? 40 points. That's a lot for a freshman. Did you expect to have that kind of a year?
No. I mean, I just wanted to be like an impact player. I didn't think I'd be leading the team in points and goals. That's really a surprise for me, but I'm glad I did, and I had a lot of fun this year.
And so now, what about your style of play do you think led to your success this season?
Well, I'm pretty quick around the net, and usually if there's a puck in tight, quick to elevate it, and I think that's what helps me a lot. Is a lot of times goalies will go down, and I'm able to elevate it up in the top of the net.